Check. 1, 2, 3.
The D.
Brief.
This is the D brief.
Your guide to Detroit.
Your guide to Detroit's arts
and entertainment scene.
This is the D.
Brief.
Hello and welcome to your podcast for Detroit concerts, comedy, plays, food, drink, and more. It's Wednesday, August 14th. I'm your co-host. My name is Seth Ressler.
And I'm Becky Scarcello.
Let's get right into it. Let's talk about what is happening on the show today. Steve Johnson of Motor City Brew Tours. He's going to be joining us. This guy knows everything. He runs the Beer Tour Guy podcast. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk to him about some summer beers that you should try before it's too late.
Right. I'm going to tell you a popular restaurant in town is opening up a third location.
Ooh.
I know.
And let's also talk about the Detroit Popsicle Stick Challenge, right? This is something we've been talking about in episodes lately because we talk about a million things on this podcast. And you're probably sitting there going, oh, I want to try that. I want to try that. I want to try that. And then it's like time to go out. You've got a free, night during the week or whatever. And you totally forget.
Where was that bar I want to go to?
So here's what we're telling you to do. Go get a pack of popsicle sticks. And every time you hear about some place that you want to go, write it on the stick, stick it in a jar. Okay? We did this, my girlfriend and I, we filled up 100 sticks in like 15 minutes.
No problem.
Because there were so many places that we had talked about on this podcast that I was like, oh, we're going to go there. And then when you've got a free night, you got nothing to do, just draw a stick, go there.
Go do it.
Have a good time.
But then the important thing is, you got to tell us about it.
Yes. So when you're posting to social media, use the hashtag either on Twitter or Instagram, Detroit Popsicle Challenge, so that we know. Or if you want to leave a voicemail, we can play it back during the podcast. You can go to our website, thedebriefdetroit.com, and you can click on the orange tab on the right side. And right there from your phone or from your computer, you can leave a message right there that we'll get. Just tell us where you went and what you did and how it was.
I'd prefer that because I would love to hear listeners' voices and hear what they've done. So please call us.
It's the Detroit Popsicle Stick Challenge. Also want to let you know that we have Michigan Podcast Productions. If you work for a Detroit arts and entertainment organization, whether it's a theater, whether it's a museum, whether it's a comedy club, whether you're in a band, whatever it is, if you've been thinking about launching a podcast, you should go to our website. We can help. It's MichiganPodcastProductions.com.
This is the D.
Detroit.
This is the D.
Brief.
Back to co-host for day number 2. It is the Executive Director of Boxfest, which is happening this weekend and next weekend in Planet Ant in Hamtramck. Kelly Rossi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome back.
Yep, thanks.
Remind everybody.
Just stayed here. I was in the parking lot the whole time.
Oh, really?
Did you slept here?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
that
noticed
cool?
your clothes were the same.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on with her?
That seems awkward.
Yeah. That's okay, though. You smell nice still.
Remind everybody who forgot from the last 24 hours what Boxfest is.
Boxfest Detroit is an annual theater festival that showcases and creates opportunities for female identifying directors. That went a lot better than it did yesterday. It was like
Smooth.
And we do it in a number of ways. We produce an annual theater festival, and then we create opportunities through our mentorship program as well.
So the theater festival, which is happening over the next 2 weekends, has 14 shows.
Mm-hmm. There's 14 shows happening. They happen 3 times in the 2 weekends.
Oh, God. Each show happens 3 times.
Yep. Each show happens about 3 times. I think we have one where the actors' conflicts didn't work, so they couldn't perform the 3rd time.
We'll talk more about this mentorship program.
So we had basically a scholarship program at one point that was just awarding scholarships to people who wanted to produce their plays, potentially take a class for basically further their directing career. But we didn't define what that meant. And that kind of was not necessarily conducive to everyone really following through with all of their projects. And it was more on us to say, well, how can we best support? What kind of opportunities do we want to create? So if we want to create the theater festival, and that's what we do to create an opportunity for these female identifying directors, then what do we do for the rest of the year? What do we do that if not in August or in June, July, and August? So through when we had a new artistic director, Amanda Grace Ewing, when she started thinking about like what partnerships do we already have in Detroit area theater, in Metro Detroit and further do we already have that we can say, hey, we would love to have someone from the festival who is interested, give them a stipend so they can have gas money to be able to come out to your theater. They'll assistant direct under you. And these are women that are directing or that are running these theater companies. I think you had Courtney Burkett.
We did.
a couple
on here
weeks
for
ago.
Detroit
Detroit
Public Theater. And she is, they are one of the partner theaters, and she would be one of the mentors.
Oh, that's great.
And so they just apply, and then through us, and then through the people who are offering the directorships, then we decide who's the best fit, and then offer it that way. And we want to offer as many as possible. So whatever funds that we raise, then we'll just give as many scholarships out, as many mentorships out as people are interested. And now, considering that we have 14 people, 14 different directors that are out there, I'd love to give all 14 if they're interested.
Yeah.
But as far out as Williamston Theater, we've got things at A Host of People, Sharina Zab. We have partnerships throughout Metro Detroit, so we're super excited.
That's awesome.
I'm curious, what is the normal, I don't know if there is a normal, but what is the usual path for a director? I mean, is it usually somebody who starts in acting and then gets into directing, or is it something totally different?
Yeah, I think that probably has the most unique path that I've ever seen. An actor, right? Most of the actors, you're just like, I got the bug. I was the ladybug, like literally a ladybug in the school play.
Or a tree.
Right, exactly. But directors, I kind of feel like get it inspired from other things, or they're the ones that are like, they're so bossy and can see it all that it's like, we have to give little Timmy something to do during it. So let him round everybody, all the kindergartners up. And then from what I've seen, it's mostly like people that are interested in the entire world that can zoom out and can see how to build an entire world. And the trajectory usually ends up something like, you see enough theater, you're an actor, you say, you know what, I wouldn't mind doing that. I'd like to do that. You end up at a space like a black box space like the Planet Ant Theater, who's been an incubator for new works forever, and also has been having people that don't have as much experience in theater, in writing, and then cultivating people. So they're a really great community, but you find a pocket, a community theater, a community that surrounds a theater or an art space that the Ant has. And then you do things here and there, you work for free a lot, and then maybe you get your foot in the door, but rarely do you have an opportunity to just say, this is it. We aren't able to offer rehearsal space, but everything else we're able to give. We have the stage manager, we have the lighting designer, we can get things that you want. And then ourselves, who have been producing it for a while, if you're looking, you had an actor drop out at the last minute, you have us, you have 13 other directors that have all these resources. So I would think that path of a director, I don't know, I've necessarily seen a path. I've seen like a bunch of footprints all going like kind of the same direction.
So now that you've seen that, then what advice would you give? Like if there's somebody listening to this podcast now who says, I want to be a director, what would you tell them? You
just have to go see all the shows. You have to meet all the people. It's just the exact same thing as in theater, where you'd have to go and meet everyone and see as much theater as possible. And then it's showing up. The more that people see your face, the more that they're like, oh,
she's
if you see
serious, yeah.
Right. And also that you want to meet other directors and talk to them about directing and find out where they're doing it and how they did it. Because really that's the only thing. It's like that true mentorship that you have to find someone that's done it. Mm-hmm. And luckily we know a lot of people that have done it.
It's pretty much any career networking is so key.
Yeah.
Finding the people that you need to talk to.
Most absolutely. Well, that and read a whole bunch of scripts.
So then what are you doing in the theater world when you're not doing Boxfest?
I'm an actor and a playwright by trade. An actor, I went to Wayne State University for theater. Mm-hmm. So I have a degree in acting. It was a great program. It was really. It definitely gave you a lot of the real world of what it looked like. And, and then I fed right into the community right after that. So, nice. And then it was one of those things where it was like my first Boxfest was like many. It was like, oh, I heard that you were interested in writing plays. Have you written anything? Like, and like, that's a lie. And then it's like, great, I'd love to read it. If you wanted to submit it for, this theater festival that we're trying to get going, it's 2004, 2005. And then you kind of go, okay, yeah, sure, I can do that. And then all of a sudden you're there and you're like, well, who did you want to direct it? I'm like, me? I'm going to do it. It's like, you don't have enough actors. Sure, I'll be in it. And then after that, it was like, I'll never do it again. I don't think I directed after that again.
Really?
Oh,
I
wow.
am not a director. I love being a playwright. I love being an actor. I love being an actor more than a playwright. But because being a playwright, it's too much personal stuff out there. Then you're like, you're so nervous about it all the time.
It's
Writing
your
is
ownership.
different. Right. But that kind of the way that it all went down at the very, very beginning of it was just like I already knew what I wanted to do. And then I was looking around and thinking, I think other people want to do stuff like this too. And then we just kept it going because there kept getting more and more interest in it.
Oh. Well, people want to find out more information about Boxfest and go to one of the shows. The website is boxfestdetroit.com.
Yep, boxfestdetroit.com. The whole festival schedule is up there, and it's got links to all of our partner theaters as well. So we're going to be there this weekend. We want to see you guys there too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, look, we're glad you're back for day number 2. Hang out. Have a good time.
This is the D. The D.
Brave.
Becky, let's talk about what's happening in the world of food and drink.
Yeah. So there's a new show you can watch online. Deadline Detroit put together a food show. So it's going to be, I think, a couple times a month.
Wait, we knew this was coming. You
Yeah.
auditioned for this.
I did. So obviously I didn't get it. I'm not promoting my own show, but
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay because honestly, I love the guys that got it. It's a great fit. So yeah, twice a month they're going to go to different restaurants and review what's there, eat the food and talk about it. And it'll be an emphasis on like the lesser known restaurants, which I think is really important. They might throw in some that everybody kind of knows, but they're going to really try to highlight the smaller, lesser known ones and get people on board with going there. So the hosts are Kyle Sammy and Carlos Parisi. Carlos is, he started a company called Aunt Knees, and they do chips and salsa and guacamole, and that's how I originally got to know him at Eastern Market for the tours that I do there with Feet on the Street. And then Kyle is, he's a local actor and musician, and they're both big-time foodies, so it's perfect. And they have a nice rapport. They have the first episode's out. You can go check it out online.
She takes it in stride, but after the podcast, she's just going to go cry herself to sleep.
I'm really not. I swear to God.
I'm not sleeping there tonight, and I'm not going to be in the parking lot this time.
I swear to God, no.
Let me tell you something. This is something I learned about myself a long time ago. I am a radio personality. Face for radio is what we call it in the. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. And when I'm on TV, it is not good. Like you're just like, nope, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel the exact same way. There's a reason the good Lord made me for the stage and not the awkwardness that needs to happen on TV.
Honestly, I was worried a little bit about the time. I don't know how much time it would take or how that would fit into everything else. So I'm like, you guys go do. Sounds like a lot of work.
We're glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you. So, another sort of TV related story. There's a local chef and restaurant consultant named Chad Barrett, and he's been on the Food Network now twice. So congrats to him. He was on this fun show, Guy's Grocery Games. It's the Guy Fieri show where he has them do crazy stuff in the grocery store. Like you got to, pick up strange ingredients and make something out of it and, only have $10 to spend and like 5 minutes to go get it in the store or whatever. So the first time that Chad Barrett went on this in 2017.
You watched that show?
No, I want to do it too. Like
you want to be a participant?
Mm-hmm.
This is why I canceled my cable subscription at shows like this.
I know.
No, you just have to watch it like in doctor's offices. That's where I do.
Oh, okay, yeah. If it just happens to be on
in the waiting room.
Yeah. Like all those. It seems the doctors I go to, they're always playing like the home renovation shows.
Oh, right. Or
gosh.
or like the people that are just like, look at me, let me watch me dress this salad. High blood pressure's bad. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's that, like the healthy eating
sunscreen.
TV.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's good advice.
I have to ask, how do we feel about Guy Fieri?
He's a character.
He really is. I think this is his thing. Like I liked him in this show.
See, I used to not be able to stand him because it felt so fake. And then there's a stand-up comedian named Shane Torres. Have you seen this bit?
I cannot believe you're bringing that up. And now everyone feels bad about hating Guy Fieri.
Right. I saw that.
Have you
no, I
seen
haven't
it?
seen- no.
it's
Oh, you've got. We'll
hilarious.
post it. It's basically him going, "Why does everybody hate Guy Fieri? What?"
Like he's got this zest for life. I wish everyone had. And you're just it's probably like an
guilts you into-
8-minute clip. Oh my god, it was so
It's
funny.
brilliant.
It's so I cannot believe you mentioned it. It's so funny.
Wow, I got it. I'm looking
And
it up.
now, yes, you're absolutely right. I feel guilty about hating on Guy Fieri
Okay,
now.
so good. So we agreed to love him for his lust for life, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And his
Yes.
grocery games.
His enthusiasm for the
so
grocery.
congratulations, Chad Barrett.
Yes.
Because of Shane Torres, the comedian, I'm happy for you that you're on Guy
I know.
Fieri's
We
grocery
endorse
games.
it. We endorse it. So yeah, the first time he was on, he won $16,000. So then, because he was a winner, they had this tournament of champions. It just happened early July. He didn't win that one, but he was still glad he got to go on and learn a lot and have fun and whatever. So he's a local sous chef. He's been at a bunch of suburban restaurants, but now he's kind of moved up the chain a little bit. Instead of having his own restaurant, he likes to fulfill that niche of like consulting other restaurants. So there's a new place called Miles on the Water in Mount Clemens.
Oh my gosh, I just went there.
Did you love it?
I actually did. I really liked it. It was beautiful. My godfather's band was playing. Oh. Yes.
What's the name of the band?
I'm going to remember it. Just give me 1 second.
Okay, yeah, we'll come
So,
back to
so
that.
when you tipped, did you write a little note that says this restaurant is very well consulted?
Yes, I can tell.
5-star
The consultant did a good job with this restaurant.
Yeah, so you might think, well, what's
He's clearly been on Guy Fieri's grocery games.
what, yeah, what qualified him
has
for
been
this?
very well consulted.
Yes, yes. So he developed the menu. I don't know. What did you have? What did you have to eat?
What
Do you
did
remember?
I have? I had. Oh, it was on like a special or something. It's like steak tips. It was really good.
okay.
They had a decent menu, and everything that came by, I was just like, that looks really good. Like,
Oh, wow.
but they had
So,
something.
cheers.
Oh yeah, they had like shrimp and grits, and I was like, that looks really good. Good for that guy.
Yeah. So you can check him out. He's got a Facebook page where he's talking about different cooking classes and stuff he's doing too. So check him out. So the couple openings I wanted to tell you about. So EEMA, great noodle restaurant, right? We've had Chef Mike Ransom on. Love him. Love what he's doing. They even were awarded Restaurant of the Year by Eater Detroit and all these other accolades. So
Yeah, Mark Kurlianchik named him best restaurant of the year,
yes.
the Free Press, and yeah,
Exactly.
Have you been to his restaurant? I've only been. He's got 2 locations. I've been to one. One is in Corktown. It's really tiny and packed.
Right.
yeah, on Michigan Avenue.
And I haven't been to the second
in
location.
Madison
Where's
Heights.
that?
Madison Heights.
Oh, that's why I don't know. I was like third.
But that's bigger, more.
It's bigger and it's
More spacious, right?
A little bit faster, casual service, but
Okay.
similar. Yeah. So the third one is going to be his biggest. So it's 37 square feet. It's going in the old Sweet Lorraine's. They had a special like a mac and cheese and beer place. The Sweet Lorraine's did across from Wayne State. If you remember that,
closed
that
that?
closed. Yeah.
Well, maybe if they had put an S instead of Z.
Do you remember
That was
that?
the Mac and Brews. It was a huge
Mac and
sign.
cheese. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Boy, yeah, that place never took off. You could
No.
I mean, there was just
It didn't hit. So
And
this.
everybody went keto.
Yeah. There you go. Or gluten free.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's going to be opening hopefully this fall. It's even going to have a bar. And of course, being right there by Wayne State on Cass, it's going to be a little bit more targeted to the students. So I think he's throwing some extra things on the menu, some fried food, a little more desserts, more beverages, and they're going to have grab and go items there too. So I guess the deal is with the Corktown space, that's a lease and it's running out in less than a year. So he's a little concerned too that building might sell.
Oh, yeah.
After his lease is up. So
Honestly, we loved the food there. It was tight.
it's challenged to get
It's
in. And,
it's
yeah.
so
all
Maybe
the community.
claustrophobic to think about. Yeah.
It is tiny.
it
so
is a tiny space.
he
and
deserves a much bigger space.
He does.
So, yeah.
So
Another opening on the horizon. We got to wait a little bit longer for this. It won't be till spring 2020. Oak Park is getting a brewery.
I'm so excited about this. I live in Oak Park, so
All right. Park doesn't have a
and I
brewery?
drink.
Well, there hasn't been. There hasn't been any because Oak
It
Park
was a dry town, which I did not know when I moved in. Had I known,
I know why the heck.
I don't know.
Well, it's pretty small,
It's-
right?
it-
You
it's-
just go
yeah.
over to Royal
It's
Oak
like a-
or
Exactly.
whatever.
It's
It's like a
It's
90-second
sandwiched in there.
Uber ride to wherever you want to be.
Yeah, or your
So
bike, offset the beer you're drinking.
I did not know that.
That was the plan.
Yeah, that was the one. Okay, so it's going to be called Unexpected Craft Brewing Company. So aptly named because before you just didn't expect a brewery.
And where's
in
it gonna
Oak
be?
Park. I think on 11 Mile.
Okay.
Yes. And it's
North of the highway.
Yes. So it's being run by the founder of River Rouge Brewing Company there in Royal Oak. So he's going to be doing this one too. And there's going to be at least 30 taps, which is pretty big, plus ciders, wine, hard seltzers come in. Those are very trendy right now. So he's able to do this with a Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development grant. So they actually was a grant to open $100,000 to open up this brewery. And there are 20 more liquor licenses now available in Oak Park. So this is about to get huge.
It's going to get weird
I'm going to go
quick.
buy one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put tap handles right
Maybe
on
you
my
should.
front porch. Just come on by.
Most absolutely. Get a Class C license so you can have a dance floor if you want. You know,
That'll be
little
the
bit
driveway.
extra.
I've got a
string up some
carport, so I can
lights.
just hang a disco ball
Although,
right
yeah,
Yes.
brewery licenses are a little different. So, yeah, you might want to get extra insurance for that.
Yeah. Oh, my. Definitely.
Welcome to the D.
Brief.
All right, Kelly, here's how it works. Every so often, we like to have somebody call into the show who knows more about a particular topic than we do. Those people are not hard to find.
No.
I wasn't going to say it.
We have a whole roster of them.
But we have one of our friends rejoining us. Steve Johnson runs Motor City Brew Tours, which you like beer?
I do like beer.
Do you like bikes?
I do.
Oh, this is a good guy for you to know
Okay,
right here.
all right.
You're going to want to go
Networking at its
take one of his beer tours. Also, he hosts the Beer Tour Guy podcast. Steve, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back.
So let's talk about what's going on, because I'm a little concerned here. I'm on my Facebook feed, and I'm still friends with the woman who ran the liquor store down the street in Providence, Rhode Island, when I lived there like 10 years ago. And she posted a photo of the pumpkin beers already getting
hate
installed.
it. It's too soon.
It's way, like, I mean, it's like you might as well put the
thanks.
Christmas decorations up.
Yeah, we were at Costco and same thing. They got Oktoberfest there. I'm like, no.
Yeah. So Steve, can we talk about some summer beers that we should? I just want to believe it's summer for a little
Let's
while
soak
longer.
up some more summer. Anything
is.
new?
I think we should. I think that's where we should be looking at it, because that's what I got in my fridge right now. I'm not bringing Oktoberfest in my fridge yet. In fact, it's not allowed in my house until at least part way into September.
I think that's a good rule.
That's fair.
Agreed.
So some of the stuff that I've seen come out recently, kind of interesting. You know, you guys are familiar with White Claw and Truly and these spiked sparkling beverage drinks, correct?
Sure thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a thing now, right?
It's a huge thing. Yeah.
It is. It's like a full-on going crazy thing this summer. And it's been out for the last couple of years. But really, this summer, it's really taken off. And some of the stats are that I saw about White Claw, for example, which is made by the folks that make Mike's Hard Lemonade, is that they're up 300% this summer. That seems kind of crazy to me.
See, I'm old enough to
Atwater
remember
Brewery-
Zima, and that's what this feels like to me.
It tastes way different though.
Yeah.
It does. I think that's what a lot of
Yeah.
people want to assume is happening. But part of it is just a lot of people are drinking seltzer and things like that. Now, the LaCroix people of the world, right? Like I've started doing that as well. And people want less sugar in what they're drinking. So why not
Yeah.
bring that into alcohol? It makes a lot of sense. Maybe it'll
and-
stick for a while. We'll see.
And I think they want less alcohol too. Less alcohol, less calories, less sugar. You know.
Wait, less calories, less sugar, but I don't know about less alcohol.
No, I think so, because like these are super popular at music festivals
Right.
and things where you're like on a boat all day, you know, where you might want to have something in your hand, but you don't want to get totally toasted and during the day or whatever.
yeah, no,
I,
I get it.
I haven't met those people yet, but when I do,
So, Becky,
like
you're
when I do.
So, Becky, you're kind of part right. Most of them are 5% alcohol, but they have less sugar, and they're typically around 100 calories. And a lot of breweries have started getting into the game as well, and they can make kind of like a flavored malt beverage version of this, where they're using some type of sugar base, typically like a cane sugar, and they're doing it. So Atwater Brewery last week just released their kind of spiked seltzer water is what they're calling it, in about 3 flavors. I actually saw it at Meyer in like assorted 12 packs. Totally looks just like White Claw in the graphics. It's like they took the White Claw Truly graphics with that kind of white background and black font, and then they slapped the name Atwater on it.
Wait, it's
But
not.
I did
It's
try
not even
them,
Tony
and I-
Rocco doing the
Yeah,
artwork.
why isn't Tony on there?
It's not. That's what's interesting. I know he's been on your show before. They made it very simple and clean looking. And that seems to be their approach, is to say, hey, we're doing this too. We're a local Detroit brewery. Support someone local with it, which I think is kind of a clever way to do it. There are a few other breweries across Michigan that are doing this too, but I think you're going to at least see for the next couple months, Atwater really pushing this pretty hard.
What are the flavors? Do you know offhand?
It's cherry. Let's see, what was it? Cherry, lime, and mango. I tried the mango and the cherry. I thought they were all right. I think all of them are kind of all right.
Is it all bottled?
Change my world or anything. I mean, I'm a beer tour operator. I'm not going to sit here and tell you should stop drinking beer and only drink this.
Right.
But I think it has a place at times, right?
Yeah.
Is it all bottled? Is it on tap?
It was on tap at the brewery because I was there Friday, and seemed like they were selling a ton of it, but they're selling it in cans in the market.
Yeah,
so it was like a variety
that makes sense.
in cans.
I'm interested. I'm interested to see what it would taste like on tap. I'll let you guys know. Okay.
All right.
Research specifically for this.
Yes.
Anything else? Any other summer beers that we should get while we can?
Well, a couple that I've been drinking a lot more this year, and I think that's part of what's happened probably in smaller breweries, is kettle sours and gozas. So a lot of people see the word G-O-S-E and they say goze. I say goza. I think that's the proper way you say it. And essentially a goza is it's a sour beer that's lower in alcohol and typically has like coriander and sea salt in it and maybe some other type of fruit. So in the case of what I've seen most in the market, maybe what most people have seen, is Founders has this beer called Green Zebra, which is like watermelon and sea salt.
I've seen that. I've had that a bunch of times. It's great.
If that's available where I am, I usually get it. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been pretty clever that they kind of mass produced it. And in most breweries, they kind of have their own exotic version of that. Kind of the Florida version of that, or the one you see if you kind of went down south, would be like a Berliner Weiss. That would just be one that wouldn't have salt in it, but kind of the same concept. And there are these lower ABV beers with a lot of flavor and the sour and or tartness to it that have different fruits that they've added in to kind of enhance the flavor. But they're all typically like in this 4% range. So more of a sessionable beer, right? Makes sense to have that in the summer.
And what did you say they're called if they don't have the salt?
It's called a Berliner Weiss.
Oh,
they may not use that term.
Yeah, but
if you ever seen Bell's makes a beer called Oarsman, which is like a cherry wheat beer that's very tart, and that's a play on that. Although they don't say that it's a Berliner Weiss on it, but
nice. Let's talk about some beer events coming up. What's still on the schedule before the summer's done here?
Sure, there's a lot of stuff going on here in August before we kind of snap into September. For example, my company this weekend, Motor City Brew Tours, we're doing a beer tasting boat cruise on August 17th aboard the Detroit Princess Riverboat. We've done a handful of these now with the boat. We have our own private floor of the boat, and we'll have 40 different beers, hard ciders on to sample, a DJ, we'll have food, and we're cruising on the Detroit River. Pretty fun afternoon.
Booze cruise is what we used to call these. These are fun. I love doing these things.
Nothing wrong with that.
They're super fancy now, though.
Oh, do we have to dress up if we come? What's the dress code there?
The dress code's very casual. I'm surprised I don't get asked that more, though.
All right.
Put your dancing shoes on. I got a real fun DJ Invisible.
Okay.
And he's kind of their house DJ, but he's real popular. You might have heard of him before.
Can you
definitely has a very popular
I'm
Instagram
asking for
feed.
Kelly, but can you do cosplay?
Can I do cosplay?
Yeah, is there...
So you want me to do like a themed one? Is that what we're saying?
That's not a bad idea.
That's a pretty good idea.
I feel like there's an untapped market here. Really not. We're not hitting it yet. You could be the first.
Cool. So you've got your booze cruise, and then what else is going on?
Let's see. Coming up on the 24th, there's a couple different breweries that have some anniversary parties. There's a Sherwood Brewery. They do this party called Abbeyversary. It's their 13th year. And they have a whole bunch of special small beer releases. They have a whole bunch of family fun activities at their brewery in Shelby Township. Food, the whole deal. Also in South Lyon, Witch's Hat Brewing Company has their annual festival, barrel-aged beer festival. So nothing like great barrel-aged beers in the middle of summer. It's called Fury for a Feast. And they kick back money to gleaners. So it's a great cause, and it's a lot of great beer in both of those events.
Awesome.
Very good.
Well, look, Steve, thanks so much for checking in. If people want to learn more about your tours, what's the website? Where do they go? How do they follow you on social media?
They can go to motorcitybrewtours.com. And right on the homepage, you can see a list of all our public events, or we're available for private events as well. You can also learn more about my podcast. Beer Tour guy, and that's right on the homepage.
Awesome. Well, Steve, thanks for checking in.
Thanks for having me.
This is the D.
Detroit.
This is the Dupree.
All right, Kelly, that's it. That's the end of show number 2.
Okay.
Pretty easy, huh?
She's like, okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, I gotta go.
I'm like, no, I'm nervous now.
My cab's
I know
here.
what's happening. Yeah.
Yes.
My Uber just called.
Look, before we get out of here, I want to remind you that we talk about a lot on this show. In addition to putting them on your popsicle sticks and
Yes,
putting
go do
them
that.
in your jar.
And calling us when you do the things.
And calling us when you go do the things for the Popsicle Stick Challenge. You can also go to our website, thedebriefdetroit.com. While you're there, sign up for the email list, and we will send you a list of links to everything that we talk about in the show.
Or you can just text the word Detroit to 444-999 from your mobile phone. Easy peasy.
Yep, that's easy. All right, you said it, you alluded to it. You know what's coming.
I know.
We're going to play a game.
Look at her. She's
I'm
fidgeting.
nervous.
She's like starting to sweat.
I'm going to say pass to everything. This is because family members who have played like the end of Family Feud with me
Yeah.
would be like, oh no.
Oh,
they're in it.
Are you good at Family Feud?
No.
Well,
Well,
that's
not
what
the,
she's saying,
Not the
yeah.
end of it.
Hopefully
Yeah,
you'll
yeah,
be better at this. Here we go. We're going to ask you for a series of rapid fire recommendations. Just tell us the first thing that comes to mind. Starting with this, we're getting into the Dog Days of Summer, I believe, is the official title.
Yeah.
Tell us your favorite thing about Detroit in the summer.
Construction.
Really?
I find new ways to get places every single day.
That keeps it exciting and fresh.
My brain is getting younger as we speak.
You are a glass half full person, aren't you?
Even more than me. It's hard to find. But wow.
Wow,
That's very
all right.
cool. I love it. I love it. You probably can find new places along the way to stop at as well.
Right, exactly.
When you do, write them down on a popsicle stick.
Yes.
Stick them in the jar.
I write it.
And
I write my
call us.
swear and put it in there.
That's a different jar.
You have to pay for that.
Yeah, that's you know what, we should put it next to the swear jar, and then when you go on a popsicle stick challenge, you should break the swear jar, take all the money out of it, and then you should use it for it's a lot of jars.
That's a lot of
lot
that's
of
a lot to keep track of. Never mind. Okay. Where's the first place you take out of town visitors when they come to the Detroit area?
Belle Isle. Belle Isle. Well, tell them to go to Belle Isle or the riverfront. We took people to the riverfront recently, but then it was like way too hot and the fountains weren't on. And so it was like really a little hot and miserable for them. But usually the riverfront, like I'll go down to the Riverwalk for sure.
What is the last great made in Detroit gift that you received?
This is really going to bum me out because I feel like I've gotten like some really, really great things.
That were made in China?
That were, that were made in Oak Park, unfortunately, because it's a dry county. They get a lot better things, get things done better that way. I feel like the most unique thing probably recently is one of those Bon. I think they're still in Detroit. Like they're made there, the little chocolate.
They have a downtown and a Hamtramck.
Right. I'm not sure exactly where it was made, but I definitely got that. I'm going to kick myself. I'm going to get in my car and see like 50 other things.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, that's a good one, though. The chocolate's amazing.
They were very good, and the service that I got was exemplary. So, good job.
Nice. Do you have a favorite Motown song?
I like 25 Miles by Ed Winstar. Are you familiar with this song?
No.
25 miles to go. Yeah, you hear it in, you know it. Yeah,
Of course,
right.
of course,
so
of course.
Like,
yeah.
and it's a real motivator. You know what I mean? Like Ed Winstar is war. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he can really get it in there.
Oh, I like that. That's a great answer.
Or Mickey's Monkey.
Okay, also good.
Do you have a favorite locally made TV commercial of all time?
Oh my gosh, of all time?
Yes. Favorite
You guys saw
locally made
Detroiters, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's too much. Dietrich Furs is pretty like there. It's
Epic.
right there. But like maybe Melfar, definitely because it had the dog, like the animated dog. I thought those were pretty great. I don't know. It's too now. All of the like most recent ones from Detroiters are in my brain. So I would say I'll go Dietrich first because I remember that. I remember thinking like that was really classy. Like wow, and the song too. Like
They
that was
might as
really
well have been
classy.
riding unicorns. I mean, it was just like
Oh my gosh!
so
Now
beautiful.
all I can think of is their Farmer Zach episode. Now I'm gonna die.
Okay, so how about a favorite rainy day place to go?
Well, I mean, I would say the Science Center, the Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum. I know. Well, in Detroit, right? Okay, but everybody thinks Ann Arbor's Detroit, so you know.
Do they?
Well, you know when you go on those like top 10 Detroit lists, and they're and you start in Madison Heights.
Oh, and then they might have Zingerman's or something.
Right?
Yes.
And you're like, wait, this was supposed to be a Detroit list.
I thought we got in trouble when we like included Troy. We can include Ann Arbor now?
No, well, I'm saying
can't.
no. You're not allowed. I'm teasing.
No.
In Detroit, rainy day, it would almost always be theater. But even though now I would say Detroit Puppet Theater, even though it doesn't exist anymore, that was like my absolute fave because it's just like on a rainy day, it so got you in the mood going in there. Mm-hmm. So that's but any children's theater, that's what you should go see on a rainy day. Okay. You should see children's theater in Detroit or go to the African American Museum.
Who is an up and coming Detroit director that everyone should know?
Oh, up and coming Detroit director that everyone should know. Whew. There's too many. Right. They're everywhere. Well, Emilio Rodriguez for sure, and who is like making waves now. Caitlin Valor-Bork. They're doing tons of stuff in Hamtramck and Detroit with Black and Brown Theater and with Planet Ant Theater. So I would definitely, you won't have to look for their names because they're already going to be out there.
Do you have a wish for the future of Detroit theater? What would you like to see happen in the theater world in Detroit?
I will tell you this. I would say I would like everyone to realize that there's room for all of us, keep growing, and at the same time, hold on to our ideals. Because I think a lot of times it's like we splinter, you know what I mean? It's just like, well, I think theater should be like this. Well, I think it should be like this. Then there's two different groups, and then those two groups don't like each other anymore. And I think that we really have come so far in like, oh my gosh, we realize that we splintered off, but we're greater now that we have more things to go to. So I would say my greatest wish is that we keep growing, but that we keep our ideals intact. Because Detroit isn't Chicago. Detroit is not New York. Detroit is not LA. We're our own thing. And, yes. And as long as we keep that, then we're going to be fine.
Very nice.
Yes.
Nicely done. Nicely
you were worried
done.
for nothing.
I'm sweating a lot. I'm sweating. I'm nervous.
It's a good thing you get to go home after this.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you can finally change your clothes.
Yeah. Really,
well, it's Tech Week, though. You know, she's still got a lot of rehearsals to do.
I have another parking lot to sleep in. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
Not just
it's
one.
Probably more posh than ours.
Kelly Rossi, the Executive Director of Boxfest, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Once again, Boxfest is happening this weekend and next weekend over at Planet Ant in Hamtramck. People want all the details. Where can they go?
Boxfestdetroit.com.
And can they follow it on social media as well?
Yeah, absolutely. At Boxfest Detroit. And you can find us on Facebook, Boxfest Detroit. And also go follow Planet Ant as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was great to have you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
So fun.
Appreciate it.
Have a break a leg, I believe it's the expression.
Yes, that is the expression.
Yes.
I hope I do.
All right.
Good.
And thank you guys so much. This was awesome.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Until next time, Detroit's moving.
Keep up.
The D-Brief.
Your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.
Hi, Craig Foddy here. If you're listening to the Debrief podcast, well, I've got two things to say to you. One, you have impeccable taste. Two, you care about the community that is Metro Detroit. That's why I think you'd appreciate my daily show, The Craig Foddy Show on Deadline Detroit. Every weekday, I tackle the big issues in politics, business, arts and culture, sports. Whatever's on the mind of Detroiters and Michiganders, we will talk about it. It's all open for discussion. And keep this in mind. News doesn't have to be boring. Sure, we talk about serious stories and we have interviews and commentary, but we do it in a way that, if I'm doing my job right, is informative but also entertaining. Check out The Craig Foddy Show on Deadline Detroit for news, knowledge, hopefully some fun tossed in.
Interested in hearing from folks in the craft beer industry? Tune in monthly to the Beer Tour Guy podcast. I'm your host, Steve Johnson, and I'm the owner-operator of Motor City Brew Tours. And since 2009, I've taken 25,000 people to enjoy the best beer, cider, and mead being made in Southeast Michigan and beyond. On the Beer Tour Guy podcast,
Monthly, I interview folks working in the industry where you can learn more about what's going on in the industry and in other tours that I'm offering in my tour company. If you'd like to learn more about our show, Beer Tour Guy, or Motor City Brew Tours, visit motorcitybrewtours.com.
Hello, Debrief listeners. My name is Michael Dupree, host of the Michael Dupree Variety Hour, a Planet Ant Podcasts podcast. The Michael Dupree Variety Hour is an art showcase and comedy show where we feature local musicians, painters, poets, artists, sculptors, directors, writers, improvisers, and more. Stop by and discover your new favorite artist, meet some outrageous characters, and revel in ridiculous sketches. The Michael Dupree Variety Hour, the world's only mandatory podcast.
Planet Ant Theater, now doing podcasts. Check us out at planetantpodcasts.com.